Today's the last day of college. Everyone's taking turns heading back home for Christmas break. Emily's also getting ready to head out for her hometown. But since the extreme cold and crappy weather shut down public transport, Emily's got to catch a ride with some stranger. While taking a shortcut off the highway, they accidentally get stuck on a haunted mountain road. On this brutal blizzard of a night, stuff happens to them that's way more terrifying than they ever imagined. Today, I'm bringing you a hidden gem horror flick. So, let's get into the explanation for the movie Wind Chill. The story starts by showing Emily, a student at a university in Pennsylvania. Today's the last day of finals, because everyone's heading home for the December 25th holidays. A worried text from her mom pops up during class. How's her girl gonna get home? Because the heavy snowstorm got all the flights canceled. And honestly, taking the bus isn't really Emily's style. She usually flies home every year anyway. So now there's only one way, rideshare. If anyone at college is heading the same way, she'll just hop in with them. Most students do this, but this is Emily's first time. Feeling annoyed, she checks the ride listings and sees a guy named Ron is heading to Emily's town, Wilmington, Delaware, on the 23rd at 3 p.m. So, Emily hits up the number in the post and tells him she's sharing the ride. On the 23rd, Emily shows up almost 2 hours late and sees Ron is still waiting for her in the parking lot. It's already late. It's about to get even colder. So, she's rushing to toss her bags in the trunk, but she sees Ron's stuff has already filled the whole space. He got kicked out of his apartment, so his entire life is in that car. Emily tells him to crank the engine and the heater. Then she ditches one of Ron's bags to fit her own in. Emily's face turns sour looking at the condition of the car. It's a car that's been rotting in a garage for ages, where the door on one side doesn't even open unless you're inside. Plus, the window doesn't even roll up all the way. Eventually, Ron hesitantly hits the road. After driving for a good while, Ron gets super annoyed because Emily's constantly yapping on her phone. They've got a 6-hour highway drive ahead of them. Seeing his grumpy face, Emily snaps a pic of Ron and jokingly asks why he's so tilted. He says there are rules to ride-sharing. It's not just about splitting the gas money. You've got to keep the driver company too. And here she is, just chatting on the phone, and with a guy nonetheless. So, after a bit of silence, Emily asks which school he went to in Wilmington. He says St. Vice Academy. She's shocked to hear that name, because she doesn't remember a school by that name in their city. Ron says irritably that it's a boys' Catholic school, and it's not like she knows every single school name. Besides, forget the school, Ron even goes to the same college, and she didn't even know it. Ron blows her mind by telling her they're both in the same modern philosophy class. Honestly, since that class is huge, Emily never noticed him. So, to dig a little deeper, Emily asks what he wrote for the last question on the final, the theory of eternal recurrence, because she was mixing it up with reincarnation. Ron says they're two totally different things. Reincarnation is when someone comes back in another form, and eternal recurrence is when a person gets stuck in a loop, living the same moment or time period over and over again. So, they keep moving, just small talking like that. It's 5:15 p.m. Emily asks to stop at the next gas station for a bathroom break. Ron, trying to keep the conversation going, suddenly says she looks really pretty when she wears glasses. Emily's caught off guard. She hates wearing glasses, which is why she got LASIK. So, she never wears them out or in class. But how did Ron know that? When he doesn't answer and just points out the gas station ahead, a suspicion pops up in Emily's mind. While Ron focuses on getting gas, Emily stayed in the car. The girl who was just dying to use the bathroom is now totally fine in the car. When asked, she said she wouldn't be able to go, because she just did her nails. She thought the station might be way further away. Then Ron basically forced her onto his back and carried her to the bathroom. But after seeing the condition of the bathroom, she had to keep her shoes on. Meanwhile, after freshening up, Emily looks at herself in the mirror with her glasses on and feels pretty good. Ron wasn't wrong, but that little bit of happiness only lasted a second, because when she tried to leave the bathroom, the door was locked. No matter how much she yelled, Emily's voice reaches no one's ears. It felt like they could hear her but were just ignoring her on purpose. Finally, After struggling for a bit, the door opened from the bottom, and she took her anger out on Ron. He'd been casually chatting with the shop owner the whole time. However, when she goes off on him, Ron swears he didn't hear a thing. So while leaving, the owner tells them to stick to the highway, but Ron cuts him off. He says he's driven this route millions of times, so he knows the road perfectly. Emily doesn't really care and just gets in the car, while Ron keeps glaring at the owner, like the guy had said something totally wrong. They grab a few water bottles and head back out. However, after a little bit, Ron takes a shortcut. It's called Route 606. Emily tells him to stay on the highway. Ron says not to worry, he knows this shortcut like the back of his hand. And there's a beautiful valley on this road she's gonna love. And anyway, this road merges back into the main road in a bit. It's not clear if that actually calmed Emily down, but her suspicion and fear were both rising. She's with a stranger, on a road where there isn't another car in sight. Two crosses are peeking out from behind the tall pine trees, meaning this is a crash-prone route. Emily's just thinking about when they'll hit the highway. While they're talking, Emily asks him some questions about Delaware, and her fear and anxiety just skyrocket. Because based on his answers, Emily realizes Ron is straight up lying. He doesn't live in Delaware at all. When Emily tells him to stop the car, Ron tries to chill the situation out, but suddenly he sees a car coming on the bridge ahead. That car doesn't move over. To avoid a head-on collision, Ron swerves, and the car crashes into the roadside snow. Both of them pass out. It's 6:29. When Emily wakes up, she tries to call the cops, but there's no signal. Meanwhile, she sees Ron is awake too. When she tells him to try his phone, he says he doesn't have one. Why did the suspicion go up here? Emily's fine, but Ron's got a head injury. But ignoring that, her gaze went toward the road. Something's weird, because even if the other car got scared and took off, why are there no tire tracks? They saw the car with their own eyes coming toward them. Even looking down the ravine, there's no car, just a bunch of crosses. Their car is stuck in the snow in a way that it can't be pulled out no matter what. Taking the chance, Emily locks the door from the inside. When Ron wants to get in because it's freezing, Emily loses it. Are you a psycho? He's an unknown guy, and on top of that, he dragged her off the highway even when she said no. Ron says Emily was the one getting bored on the highway, so he took the shortcut, because the scenic beauty on this side of the valley is actually pretty good. But Emily isn't buying it, so Ron decides to walk back to that gas station to get help. He tells Emily to come, but she refuses, so he tells her to grab the duct tape from his bag and seal the window. Now, hearing duct tape, Emily's suspicion is confirmed. She's convinced Ron's planning to kidnap her. Ron doesn't know what else to do, so he heads off alone to the gas station. While Emily's looking for the tape, she sees Ron is actually carrying a landline phone, meaning he wasn't lying about not having a mobile. While she's trying to tape the window, she sees someone walking weirdly toward the forest. Emily quickly comes out to get help from the man. He ignores her and leaves. Just then, suddenly Ron shows up. When she tells him about the man, he's too scared to go into the woods. But Emily's surprised he's back so fast. The gas station is pretty far. He says since the station was closed, he was gonna leave a note but had nothing to write with. Emily doesn't believe him. A gas station out here should be open 24/7. Ron tries to convince her, but it's no use. She just sits in the car to hide from the cold. Emily's got no choice. Right then, she notices the car clock. It is stuck at 6:29. Strangely, Ron's watch says the exact same thing. Meanwhile, Emily sees blood dripping from Ron's head, but Ron just sits there quietly like it's no big deal. In the middle of everything, Ron reveals his home isn't in Delaware. It's just 10 minutes from college. So now the question is, why did he lie? Emily is returning home without a flight for the first time. She's never shared a ride before. So how did Ron know so much? Then Ron confesses he's known Emily for a long time and he's into her. Until today, Emily never even noticed they were in the same class. Even during the final, Ron sat right behind her. Ron wanted to talk to her for ages but didn't have the guts. But when he saw Emily texting her mom in the exam hall, he was the first to post that rideshare note and spent all his savings to rent this car. He just wanted to spend 6 hours driving with Emily today. Everything was going fine from the start. He was even going to tell her the truth once they got there. But he himself wasn't ready for this nightmare they're stuck in now. So all this time we were suspecting Ron just like Emily was. Turns out we were totally wrong. After a bit, Ron gets hungry and goes to the trunk for food. He finds out the bag Emily ditched while getting in was the one with all the food. Not only that, since he'd been stalking her, he'd bought all the snacks she actually likes. Emily's actually a little impressed. Since her parents split up when she was a kid, no one's really noticed the little things she likes until today. Ron remembered he had a candy bar from yesterday. For now, they share that. But the peace doesn't last. The engine's dead, so the heater's off. And during the crash, the fuel tank cracked, so all the gas leaked out. Now, they have to survive the night in whatever warm clothes they've got. During all this, Emily has to go. When she goes out in the cold, she suddenly sees a group of priests walking by. One of them gives her this creepy, cold stare and walks into the woods. Emily screams, and Ron calms her down and goes into the woods, but sees nothing. But the question is, why is no one stopping? Ron tells Emily to stay in the car and goes back into the woods alone. He thinks the priests will help. After a bit, Ron starts coughing up blood. Turns out, even if he didn't feel it before, he's got some serious internal damage from the crash. Still, he pushes through and finds a house in the middle of the pine trees. Inside, he finds an old newspaper. He pockets it, but when he looks around the rest of the room, he's terrified. There are bodies of priests frozen in the snow. It's clear they died suddenly. Sensing things are bad, Ron rushes back to the car. Meanwhile, Emily sees that man again. He's got electric wires wrapped all over his body. This time, Emily doesn't call him. She just touches him and gets a massive shock. When the guy turns around, she sees his whole body is melted and deformed. An eel crawls out of his mouth. Emily tries to run to the car in terror and sees 2 more people. Their bodies are basically torn to pieces. Emily's screaming on the bridge when Ron shows up and calms her. He didn't have the heart to tell her what he saw in that house. Emily asks where he got the papers. He says a burnt house on the hill. Emily tries to block out the cold by taping the paper over the door. They gotta keep it as warm as possible. It's minus 30 degrees outside. So to maintain body heat, Emily huddles close to him. Ron suggested this at the start. Back then it felt like flirting, but now the situation is making her do it. It's 11:17 p.m. No one's sleeping. If they fall asleep in this cold, it's game over. Suddenly, someone knocks on the door. They're scared, but they feel a huge relief when they see a cop through the window. They try to explain everything, but weirdly, the cop doesn't care. He says it's a no parking zone. He says he'll let them off with a warning, but he wants a favor. Emily knows he's looking for a bribe. Maybe he's in on it with whoever hit them. So Emily tries to handle it with whatever cash Ron had. It's weird, right? Emily's rich, but she has to use Ron's money. When she goes to pay him, the cop ignores the money and says this place is bad. Lots of shady stuff happens here. People die in crashes all the time. If a girl's car breaks down here, she goes missing. But he says Emily's lucky he showed up. Then the cop screams at her to get in the car and makes a gross proposal. Right then, the priests show up. Seeing them, the cop stops. Ron jumps out and attacks the cop. A weird wave reflects off him, and suddenly they're back in the car. They think it's a dream, but Ron's hand is stuck to the iron rod because of frostbite. When he tries to pull it off, his skin peels right off. To save him, Emily starts warming his hand against her stomach to get the blood flowing. They have no idea what just happened or who that cop was. To calm herself and distract Ron from the pain, Emily asks what other snacks were in the bag. Because in this cold, things are looking grim. But they can't give up. They just have to make it through the night. Ron believes someone will come by. As Ron starts feeling a bit better, Emily gives him some meds. Then, the wind blows the paper off, and while she's taping it back, she sees the news articles. There were pictures of the 2 guys she just saw all mutilated. The accident was on December 23, 1953. On Route 606, 2 brothers died. Some Catholic priests came to save them. A cop died too, and they couldn't save him. But the paper doesn't say much else. After thinking about it, she realizes they absolutely cannot sleep tonight. They have to take turns. It's 2:32 a.m. Emily tells him to sleep, but she accidentally falls asleep herself. The paper blows off again. She blocks it with tape. A Christmas song starts playing on the radio. Then it stops. It's so cold you can't see anything. Just total silence. Then the cops pull Emily out after smashing the glass. We see some flashbacks. The cops had taken a girl before, but when the priest showed up, the cops took the girl in the car, did horrible things to her, killed her, and dumped her in the woods. Emily was actually seeing all this in a dream. Hearing her groan, Ron wakes up and tries to wake her up. Right then, the same Christmas song plays, and the police car is seen on the bridge. Ron gets frantic while the car starts freezing from the inside. He tries to stop the cold, but it's no use. When Emily wakes up, she sees the cops circling the car. They're even trying to look inside by clearing the snow off the glass. After a while, everything goes quiet. Ron tells Emily it's only a few more hours. Everything will be fine in the morning. Time drags on until 4:58 a.m. The sun's not up yet. The whole car is buried in snow. They're still talking to keep each other's spirits up. But Ron's in bad shape. While giving him meds, Emily realizes Ron's internal injuries are so bad he's peeing blood. And he'd been hiding it the whole time. Ron knew he was dying, but he didn't want Emily to worry. He just wanted to get her home. Ron says Emily was right. He didn't go to the gas station. He didn't have the strength to walk that far. He's only alive right now because of pure willpower and Emily. Emily decides she's going to the gas station alone for help. But Ron says no way because you can't escape that cop. Then Emily remembers the landline phone in Ron's bag. Every electric pole here has a junction box. You can plug a landline in to test the line. So Emily's gonna climb the pole, and Ron's gonna leave the radio on. They notice the Christmas song plays right before the cop shows up. So Ron will warn her by honking the horn when the song starts, and she'll come back. Ron figured out they're stuck in an eternal recurrence loop. No matter how many times they hit the cop, he keeps coming back. Emily wants to change the last 24 hours, but Ron says he'd do this trip with her all over again. He's ready to die for her every single time. He just wants her to say hi in class, so they aren't strangers anymore. Emily's blown away. She realizes how someone who wasn't even in her life a few hours ago can love her this much. Emily tells him to wait and heads out. She starts climbing the pole in the freezing cold. The junction box was locked, so she used the knife she'd hidden to pry it open. She plugs in the phone and calls the cops, but she isn't sure if they heard her. As Emily's heading back to the car, she sees the ghost of that dead girl. Emily runs back in a panic, but Ron's not responding. He's dead. Emily promised she'd come back, but Ron couldn't wait any longer. Just to spend 6 hours with her, he'd given everything. Even after the crash, he kept her from worrying and kept her spirits up. He literally died just for a little bit of love. After sitting there in shock, she pulls Ron's body out at 5 a.m. and sees a car on the bridge. She realizes it's the guy from the gas station in a snowplow. He heard her call. He tells her about the crash on 606. Finally, they put Ron's body in the truck. On the way, the guy tells her the story of the cursed Route 606. Since the beginning, this road has been a death trap. In the early 50s, a cop here used to shake people down for money. If they didn't pay, he'd kill them. Lots of people went missing, especially girls. Once, the cop was wasted and hit a car. 2 brothers died, and the cop's car caught fire. Hearing this, Emily realizes those were the 2 brothers she saw. After that, a family died on the bridge when their car broke down. Emily asks, "So what about the priests?" The guy says that's a different story. In the winter of 61, they all froze to death. Suddenly, the Christmas song plays on the radio, and a car appears in front of them. When Emily tells him not to stop, the guy thinks it's his buddy Tom. But the car doesn't stop, and as he swerves, the truck crashes into the woods. Luckily, they're both okay. But the guy doesn't get what happened. He goes down the ravine to find the other car. After a bit, he sees a burning police car. And then, something crazy happens. The scene goes back to the night of the crash in 1953. The police car is burning, and the priests are standing there. Here's the big twist. On the night of the crash, the two brothers died instantly, but the cop lived. But his leg was pinned, so he couldn't get out. When the priests got there, they chose not to save the corrupt cop. They'd seen him commit so many sins. They thought he deserved it. To make sure he couldn't call for help, they took his walkie-talkie and left him to burn. But after he died, his vengeful soul came back for blood, and he killed the priests. Ever since, Route 606 has been cursed. Anyone who drives here at night faces that ghost cop. Suddenly, in the blink of an eye, the cop's ghost attacks, and the truck driver is done for. Emily runs for her life. But how far can she really go? She's lost all hope. But just then, Ron's ghost shows up and hits the cop in the face with a rod, creating that wave again, and suddenly Emily's back in the car next to Ron's body. Even though his body's in the car, Ron's glowing ghost is outside, smiling at her. Even after death, he's still protecting her. His job isn't done until she's home. Ron's ghost smiles and says, "Should have told you the truth at the start." But he says the last 24 hours were a sweet memory for him. As Ron's ghost walks through the foggy woods, Emily follows him like she's in a trance. Eventually, she reaches the gas station. It's morning. Ron never got to see the sunrise, but he protected Emily until the very end. No one would believe the story, but Emily knows that on that dark night, love actually beat death. So guys, what did you think of the video? Let me know in the comments, hit that like button, and definitely subscribe. Catch you in the next story.